highly appropriate that surfing chef Steve Gellis is in our kitchen talking about addictive foods. Some people, and Antonio, who is behind the scenes, and we were talking earlier about this, we feel like we are addicted to certain types of foods. For me, pasta is one of them.
We're not doing pasta today?
It's probably a good thing, though. We're not. We've got some bread, which is for me number 2.
Okay, that's a good thing then.
Good to have you back.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We're going to do some, we'll do 3 different bruschettas today. We're going to do a eggplant parm. So we're going to take the eggplant, we're going to saute that, and we'll finish it with some tomato sauce and cheeses, and we'll bake that off. We're also doing a bruschetta with fresh mozzarella and oven roasted tomatoes and basil, which is a take on a caprese salad. And the third one will be a caramelized sweet onion with goat cheese topping on it.
Very, very nice. And I know you make your own bread every morning, don't you?
Every day I make bread.
So this is, what kind is this bread?
This is a rosemary focaccia that I make in the restaurant every day. And I also do a baguette as well. But we're going to use the focaccia for the bruschettas today, and we'll fry some of the bread a little later, get it nice and crisp. And not too healthy. We're
going to have to work on all of our willpower, all of that. So which one are we working on first? You've got the onions in your hand.
We're going to start to caramelize the onions because they'll take the longest to do. And this is quite simple. We're just going to put them into the pan. We'll put a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and we're just going to let them reduce and caramelize. Their natural sugars will all come out and get nice and brown.
So you want it like brown, so it'll take like 10-15 minutes to get this done.
Take a little bit longer than that even. Probably about 20 minutes. We'll get them nice and caramelized, and then we'll finish it with a little bit of Marsala wine and cook that out.
Very nice.
And that'll work.
So you've got some set up here. This means that you may be putting me to work. Ah, the eggplant. I see
Yes, we're going to put you to work. We're going to put some eggplant in the egg wash first.
I should wash my hands.
Okay.
So the eggplant goes in there. You just sliced it up. You took off the skin.
Right. You take off the skin so it is not bitter. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put it in the wash first, and then the flour, which traditionally is backwards. But my mother-in-law taught me years ago when I'm doing eggplant is that we put it in the egg wash first, and then the flour, and then into the frying pan.
Gotcha.
And it gives it a nicer texture.
And just the plain eggs in there. There's nothing else in there. No other seasonings or anything.
No other seasonings. Probably some shells. But other than that...
I didn't help you, did I? Here, I'll take that.
All right.
So both sides, put it in here, and then straight into your pan?
Yes.
Okay.
Right into that pan.
What kind of oil do you use here?
This is olive oil.
Okay. Very, very nice. And you said earlier when we were chatting about your dishes, these are extremely simple, which is nice, but I think they also give a nice presentation.
Yes, they do.
If you've got guests coming over.
I agree.
Easter's coming up. Might be entertaining a bit. So we are running out of time. I'm getting the wrap, but once we do this, what happens with the eggplant?
Well, I'll brown them, and then I'll put them on the paper and let them drain, and then I'll start building them on a sheet pan with the tomato sauce and cheeses.
Yeah, we've got a good start going. What do you think, Surf and Chef?
I think we're doing great so far.
We're going to send it over to the couch, Jeremy. Say that again. You said that's perfect, right?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, good. We are working with our surfing chef, Steve Gellis from Primo 116 Bistro Italiano in Suffolk. We're working on our different ways to make bruschetta.
3 different bruschettas.
3 different bruschettas, and this is our eggplant that we put in the pan.
Right, we
egg
sauteed
wash
it.
flour.
Right.
And now tell me again what I'm doing as far as size-wise.
Well, we're just going to pick one, a big one and a smaller one, and we're going to shingle them like you're doing. Perfect. Okay. Just like that.
Yeah. And we don't want one that's too small or kind of out of sync because it would look funny on the bread.
Right, because we're going to need to put this onto the bread.
Okay.
I'm going to use my hands here and move them a little closer together so we can get more on here, Cheryl.
Okay, the sous chef is falling down on the job.
No, you're doing fine.
We have the onions still going for another one of our bruschetta
This will be the caramelized onions. I just put some Marsala in, and we're going to let that reduce and cook almost dry, and then that'll be finished. And then we'll top that with goat cheese once we put it on the bread.
That sounds delicious.
And once you get all of these done, we're going to put some tomato sauce on it, and then we're going to put a mixture of pecorino and Parmigiano Reggiano on it, and then we're going to bake these at 350 so the cheese melts. And when these come out of the oven, we'll just slide them right onto the bread.
Very nice. You're getting nervous because I'm going so slow, aren't you?
No, you're doing fine.
That's all right. I'm going to move that over there. I was talking about the onions over there, and I don't normally let them cook down that much. I fear I'm going to burn them.
But what we're doing here is we are caramelizing it, which is cooking and bringing out the natural sugars in the onion, and that's what's browning, and it makes it sweet without putting any sugar or anything in it.
Oh, I like that. So, I mean, no other actual
Sure, what are we doing over here? What's this over here?
This is an extra. But you like it nice and neat.
Nice, yeah, in rows and straight. Okay, we're good. That's fine.
To me, I'm like, if it's in the pan, it'll get cooked. No.
Well, that's the difference between you and I.
This is probably why you're the chef and I'm just a helper, not even a sous chef.
All right, we're going to put some tomato sauce on each one of these. We're going to sauce them like that.
Now wait, you've got some extra sauce right there. It's touching that one.
Hello.
Okay. It's all right.
All right, so then basically we're going to run it that way. We're going to put the pecorino and the Parmigiano Reggiano first.
Nice.
Like that, and then we're going to put some grated mozzarella on top.
So this is going to go in the oven.
We're going to put it in the 350-degree oven so we get everything bubbling and the cheese melting. And when they come out, we'll put it on to the toast.
We're waiting on this, and we've got one more bruschetta dish to make, so we're going to wrap that up and talk more about what's going on at the restaurant coming up in our last cooking segment.
Okay, great.
Serving Chef, thanks very much.
Thank you.
We have our trio of bruschettas we're making with Surfing Chef Steve Gallis for Primo 116 Bistro Italiano in Suffolk. We've got the eggplant one still cooking in there. We got a few minutes on that still?
We got a few minutes, yes.
In the meantime, you browned them with olive oil.
Yes,
the
I did.
focaccia. That's just decadent.
It is.
Just decadent. And the caramelized onions are caramelized.
Okay.
What do I do?
You're going to put them on.
Is that too much?
No.
Oh, that was bad. You didn't see that, did you?
No,
you would never do that in your kitchen.
No.
So the onions go here.
Put some on there.
Like really coat it?
Yeah, we got to cover it. There you go.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Just like that.
We've got a lot of folks in the audience.
Well, we have a lot more bread we can fry up and get ready.
Go ahead.
All right, so now we've got the caramelized onions, so we're going to put a little bit of goat cheese on it, which will, because the onions are sweet and the goat cheese is a little bit tart, so we got a couple of different flavors going on there.
Now, will this go in the oven?
No.
Again? Okay, so this is done.
This is pretty much done, right.
We're
going to put a little bit of flat leaf parsley on there, and those are done, just like that.
Very nice. So then the second one that you have, or I guess the last one, is with the caprese.
The caprese. We can build a couple of those if we have a minute.
Yes, we sure do.
All right.
And while you do that, let's talk about how the restaurant is going. I've been asking you about your surfing.
Yes.
You've kind of been slacking on the surfing because of the waves.
We haven't had any waves to go surfing, so...
We'll talk with Jeremy about that in a little bit.
I think we should complain to Jeremy about that.
So we have the cheese there on top of your bread.
This is fresh mozz, right, fresh mozzarella, and we just sliced it and put it on the bread. And now these are Roma tomatoes that I roasted in olive oil, salt and pepper in the oven for about 3 hours at 250 degrees. So that way you always have a good, nice, sweet tomato because you cook them.
How long does that last? If you make them last night, can you refrigerate them and use them again for a meal in a couple days, that kind of thing?
Sure. All right, so now this is classic caprese. We've got the mozzarella, we've got the tomato, and now we're going to put a little bit of basil. So we have all the components, and the colors are red, green, and white, which is the color of the Italian flag.
Very,
and that's how they
nice.
come up.
That is
In
not
this
a
bottle
coincidence.
we have extra virgin olive oil.
Yes.
We can just
Swirl it.
Just sprinkle. Yeah, that's it. Just
more?
no, that's plenty.
Okay, and
Perfect. Just
I
like
know
that.
we're running out of time. We've got one more in the oven, but tell us, Mother's Day's coming up, Easter's coming up. I know you've got great stuff planned. I know it.
Yes, we've got we have a wine tasting coming up this Sunday, which unfortunately is sold out. Or fortunately for us, it's sold out.
It's such a tease, right?
We have a waiting list for that. But these you could do for a Mother's Day weekend. Nice and simple. You can have them out for hors d'oeuvres before the main course. And they're very simple. You can get them done, cut in advance, and you're good to go.
Very, very nice. Folks can find you in Suffolk where?
Primo 116 West Washington Street, historic downtown Suffolk.
We're going to make up that last bruschetta and have it to share before the end of the show.
Yes.
Surfing Chef, thanks very much.
Thank you.
And Carrie is in with the audience.